Okay, I'm back for another lesson, and this is going to be a good one. This is just one for the Phish nerds like me. Sometimes I do videos, like Jackson Browne and stuff like that. They get a whole bunch of views, and it's kind of outside of the core audience. But this one is just for us. This is McGrupp and the Watchful Hosemasters, which is a song that's easy to overlook in the Phish catalog, but there's a lot of great stuff going on here, and it has a killer piano solo section. I just have a hunch that this video is going to take a while because this song is sneaky complicated. So let's just dive right in and have some fun with it. This is a super weird, early compositional, theatrical Tranastasio song. And these ones are really fun to just kind of tinker around with. I don't have it, 100%, but I'm pretty darn close. And so we'll just go with it. Yeah, it's like... So the beginning, it's this E major 7 chord. I have an E octave with my left hand, and then a B, a D sharp for the major 7, and a G sharp. And the guitar is going down from the G sharp down to the G and then up to the B. But it sounds kind of cheesy when you do it on a piano, and Paige doesn't do it anyway, so I'm just FYI on that, but we're not going to play that. And then you go to this B minor chord, and I play it up. So I jump my thumb from the B up to the D, and then you have my left hand is up covering that B. And then it's the D, the F sharp, and the B. And you pop the B under your pinky up to the C sharp real quick. So the whole 2 chords together is like this. And it doesn't have to be, super strict about those inversions. It'll sound good if you're like... You can dig it a little far, but there's a bunch of ways you can play it. They're all kind of right, but I've been doing that because I like popping up from the B to the C sharp. And then it does this little... So that's an E chord, and the left hand is staying on E, but the right hand is popping between this E chord with B on the bottom, B, E, G sharp, up to an A major chord, C sharp, E, and A. Do you do that? And then there's that little, which is from the F sharp up to the G and then down to the E. So that whole thing together is... And then you go up to this A chord. So you have A with the left hand, C sharp, E, and A. And you're arpeggiating all of these. You should reference the track for the exact rhythm because it's a little squirrely. So you're going up that A chord. And then the left hand goes down to G sharp, and it's an E over G sharp starting on B. Then it's an F sharp minor chord. So left hand goes to F sharp, and then you're going A, C sharp, F, and then you go B with the left hand and a B chord arpeggio, B, D sharp, F sharp, up to B. So that all that together is... One more time. This is YouTube. You can slow it down and take a look at that more closely. It does that a few times. And then it goes back to those 2 chords, the E major 7 and the B minor 7. It settles on this like A9 chord. And Paige kind of rips into this thing in a lot of versions of this, running down this scale that's... which is very similar to like the Harry Hood stuff. So you're coming down A, F sharp, E, C sharp, B, So it's like an A major, but you're adding the 9 and the 13. Into your scale as you go up and down. And you can just mess around with that. There isn't any like super prescribed way to do it. So once you've hit that A chord, and that's A, just A with your left hand, you can make it sound big and run down. And that brings us to the verse, which has just about as strange a chord progression as I feel like I've ever seen. It's just bizarre, and I kind of absolutely love it for that. So as we get into the verse, it's A chord. I've alternated my meager flock to the shores of the Baltic Sea. I'm not sure I can sing this because the progression is so strange. The teeth of time have stowed the rhyme of how things shouldn't be. My cave, my house, my turning wheel, my little talking pup, my marching Colonel Forbin and his flea hound called McGrupp. I told you it was weird. All right, so the first chord is an A major. I've alternated my, and then it goes to so A, C sharp, E, and then it's a D major 7. So it's you actually just move your left hand to D, and then you have your A, C sharp, and F sharp. So that's your 7th for that D chord, and then you go back down to A to the Baltic Sea. So you do that change twice. Now we go from teeth of time. So it's that A chord again up to a C sharp. I think it's a C sharp minor. It's hard to tell. The sheet I have says C sharp major. To me, it sounds like a C sharp minor. That's what I'm going to go with. So C sharp with your left hand, C sharp, E, and G sharp. And then up to F sharp minor. And then a B chord and E. So one more time through that. The teeth of time have stowed the rhyme. And that F sharp minor is F sharp, A, and C sharp on the bottom. F sharp with your left hand. Goes to a B major chord. How things B, D sharp, F sharp shouldn't be. Back to an E major chord. E, G sharp, and B. Then it goes up to F. My cave, my house. Back down to E, my turning wheel. Down to E flat to move everything. Everything just moves up a half step, down a half step, and then goes down again a half step to E flat. My little docking pop, and that's B flat major, B flat, D, and F. It goes up a half step, so take everything up a half step. The March of Colonel Forbin and his, and then it's an A flat chord. Flea hound called McGrupp. So it's A flat, C, E flat, A flat. You know, you can invert it how you want. Again, not super strict. And then it goes back to that A chord. And Page does that a lot, where he like runs from the E, B, A, and E. And you're just adding that B and that F sharp into that run. And then you do another verse with that same chord progression. And I think, is there another? Oh no, okay. Yep, so there's another verse through that chord progression. It lands on that A again. I'm not gonna walk through that again. And then it goes to this little B section that starts on an F sharp minor chord. All times and seasons are the reasons people and their clans. And this is a C sharp major on there. So it's like F sharp minor, which is F sharp A, and C sharp down to E. So these are E, G sharp, and B, people and their clans, and that's a D chord, D, F sharp, A, and then a C sharp major chord, so C sharp, F, and G sharp. And you do that again. Stowed the famous mockingbird with glue and rubber bands. And if you notice, we're just kind of walking down F sharp, E, D, C sharp. Now you walk back up to D. Writhe and cry in agony. Back up to F sharp. So we go D to E to F sharp to G major, G, B, D. And then you go back down again to the F sharp. Tila, down to E, and the unit monster. Down to D, managing to say. And you go back up to E. And then there's another verse that uses the same chords as the other ones. all that stuff. And that one ends in the I'd like to get his autograph, but he looks too much like Dave. He looks too much like Dave. He looks too much like Dave. He looks too much. He looks too much. And honestly, the looks too much like Dave stuff is all vocals, and it's really hard to parse out exactly what the chords are. But there's no piano under it anyway, so we're not going to really mess around with it. But I will walk through that beginning of the I'd like to get his autograph, but he looks too much like Dave. So that line starts with an A major chord, and then up to that C sharp minor, C sharp, E, and G sharp, up to F sharp minor, autograph, which is F sharp, A, and C sharp, and then it goes to B major, B, D sharp, and F sharp. Looks too much like Dave, and that's the E, E major, E, G sharp, B. You go up a half step to F major, looks too much like Dave, back down to the E major. Then you go down a half step to the E flat, he looks too much like Dave, and then that's the B flat major, which is B flat, D, and F. And then it's he looks too much, and all that stuff, and that's all vocal. And then we get this really cool little section here. I'll put it. So this is the C sharp minor chord, C sharp, E, and G sharp, and it goes up to an E major, so E, G sharp, and B, and then down to a B major chord, B, D sharp, and F sharp. So you can hit those chords kind of all together in that rhythm, or you can break them up with them, arpeggiating them a little bit. That's the rhythm of it, like. Then we go back to the intro stuff. Do you remember it? It was this. For some reason, I can't remember that today, but that's what it is. So after it does those C sharp minor, E, and the B hits, it goes back to that thing, which starts on E with those bounces up to A, but your left hand stays on E, and then it's that walk down from A. Why can't I do it today? But you get the idea. And after it's done walking through that, it goes to an odd time signature. And so this next section is in 7/8, and it starts on that C sharp minor again. And so the count on that is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can feel that count. It's great to practice some of this on time signature stuff. It really helps with your ability to count on straighter stuff and your ability to mess with the rhythm as you get more comfortable working at odd times. But that's what I'm counting in my head when I'm doing this. The way I count 7 is you count to 4 and then you just count to 3 the next time. Because 7 as a word has too many syllables to fit cleanly. If you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. It's a little more awkward, so I always count it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And that's how you count this section, at least in my estimation. Let's go over what the chords are. It's a C sharp minor chord, and that's I have my G sharp on the bottom, C sharp in my left hand, G sharp, C sharp, and E. Then you go down down to an A major chord, A, C sharp, and E. And then you go F sharp minor to G sharp minor. So F sharp minor is F sharp, A, and C sharp. G sharp minor is G sharp, B, and D sharp. And you just repeat that. There's one time when it transitions where Trey goes up an octave, and in that transition, you'll hear it when we play along with it. It does, it goes to 4/4 really quickly. So that last time, the second measure of it actually it has the full 8 count. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. And then he jumps up an octave. But as a piano, you can sort of stay there. You could go up an octave if you wanted. But that's not really what Page is doing. He kind of stays hanging out there. And once you get the rhythm of playing something like this, it's fun. You can just kind of toss it around over and over and get better and better at counting it. The fact that it has that sneaky 4/4 thrown in right in the middle of it, just kind of, adds another layer, another thing to pay attention to. The song, as I said, is sneaky complicated. All right, and then after those, it goes to this sort of E minor bluesy thing. Actually E major, but you're sliding up with that blue note from G to G sharp. So I'm hitting E with my left hand, kind of on an octave, and what I'm doing is there's a couple ways you can do this, but I'm just giving it like this bluesy blues guy riff thing with my right hand, which is sliding from the G up to the G sharp. I've got the 7th, the D note under my pinky, and then I'll probably hit the E with my thumb. And then I'm sliding down from B and D and A and C sharp to get back down to that E major shape. And you give it those 2 hits, up an octave. You can go even higher. And if you can hit it clean. And it goes up a whole step to F sharp. So you're doing the same move, but everything's moved up a whole step. So the A is sliding up to A sharp. I'm still figuring this out. So yeah, the A slides up to A sharp. I have an E under my pinky. You hit the F sharp with your thumb if you want. And then that slide down comes from C sharp and E, and down to B and D sharp. And then your 2 hits are on F sharp this time. Yeah, so it's like that. And then we get to just about my favorite thing, which is... that sequence is super cool, and so it's like the bass notes are moving sequentially, but the chords on top of them are a little bit interesting, or moving in the bass notes are sort of moving in steps, like scale steps, on like a E Mixolydian scale. And so what you're doing here is, you're starting on an E major chord, and then you're doing that move again where you're popping that E, G sharp, and B up to that A chord without moving your left hand, so C sharp, E, and A. And then you're going down to a D major chord, D, F sharp, A. And then after the D chord is an A major chord over C sharp. So C sharp with your left hand, and then A, C sharp, and E, and then a B minor chord. And I've found leaving the fifth out of this chord and just hitting the B and the D helps it sound nice and clean. So that those all together are. And then on that B minor, you jump back up to E, and you walk through the sequence of chords again, and then you jump up to the D again, and you walk down again through the same chords, except you end on what is that one? Is that right? It is an A chord. Okay. Couldn't remember. But you end, because you've walked down past the B minor, you end on A. So that all together is that E popping up to A, D, A over C sharp, B minor, and then you jump back up to E, down to D, down to A over C sharp, B minor, and then D, A over C sharp, B minor, A, and then you do it all again 3 more times. So that final walk down, you do the same move, and you're coming down E, D, A over C sharp, B minor, and then D, A over C sharp, B minor, A. Now you go up to the A over C sharp, down to the B minor, down to the A, and now you're going down to E over G sharp. So G sharp with your left hand, and then it's an E major chord with your right, G sharp, B, and E. And then it goes B, A, and I'm just hitting these kind of as one-off notes. I'm holding the E in my right hand as well, but you don't have to. And then it lands on E, and that's your solo section. And the guitar and the bass hold down this little 1 to 5 pattern with the E and the B, which frees you up as a soloist because those parts are agnostic as to whether it's major or minor. You know, when you have E and B, it doesn't tell you whether it's a G sharp or a G natural. So you could also have, and this is actually like part of the Gamehenge narration idea. He uses that sound a lot in that. So we have our E major, and we're gonna start out letting the guitar and the bass just do that E and the B over and over again. And I would start out with like an E mixolydian scale to improvise on piano, which is E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, and E. So it'd be like. And then Paige loves to slide from the 9 up to the 3rd, which is that F sharp up to G sharp. So sprinkle those in there. He also does a fair amount of that blue note of the G up to the G sharp. And again, and you'll hear this when we play along with it, very sort of freely is slipping between the major and the minor sound. So you have just this solo section where you're not just bound to that E mixolydian on one chord over and over. As soon as you hit the G natural, it'll trigger a switch to that minor sound. And you can flip it back by hitting the G sharp again. And when you're in that minor mode, you could either stick to the pentatonic scale, E, G, A, B, and D, and E, and that gives you those like bluesy riffs, but you can also do that scale with the F sharp and the C sharp in them. And then coming out of this section, it goes to the B flat, and so you can start to sort of play with that B flat in your soloing, especially when you're getting sort of to the end of that section. So you go from that E major to that B flat sound. And we'll just take this out, and we'll talk about the solo when we're in it. To just go from the E to the B flat, and you do that. I don't know if they have a set number of times that they do it, or if it's just kind of cued by like a drum fill and the feel of it. I don't know if it's really buttoned up or not. I don't think it is. But we'll just go E to the B flat, and B flat major is B flat, D, and F, and then your E major chord, your B flat major chord. They're very fun to play together. It's got that Back to the Future vibe. Yeah. Man, I am all thumbs tonight. And then to come out of that, it sticks on the B flat. And then you, all you do is you have that B flat chord, nice big B flat chord, however you want to play it. And then there's that walk up from the D to D sharp to E to F. So it's like. You can do that 4 times. One more walk up on the 4th one, so you go G, G sharp, A to B flat. So, and then we're back to that that walking down sequence right before the solo section. So let me walk you through that. Most of that is the same as it was before. So you can refer to that earlier section. And then the 4th time through, where it does that more extended walk down. I'm sorry, I screwed that up. Give me a second, I'll start it over. So you've gotten down to that walk down where before it went B, A, and then E to the solo section. But what we get here is it goes B, A, and then it goes E to C sharp to A sharp to B twice. So E, C sharp, B sharp, B, E, C sharp, B sharp, B. And then you have a B chord and an A chord, like this. And then a D chord up to an E chord. And then an F sharp minor. F sharp, A, and C sharp. Up to a G major. G, B, D. And then it's E over G sharp. And that's the end of the song. So, a lot of weird little tricky stuff in there. You may have noticed I'm having some trouble keeping it all in my head at the same time. Love this kind of stuff. It is just fascinating music. So let's play along. I've got one teed up. I think it's from 2012. I'll look up the exact date and I'll have it in the description. So let's play along with it and have a good old time. All right, we're persevering in the face of tech difficulties here. So let's get into it. We've got our E major 7 chord, and then that B minor chord that pops up to that C sharp. this like 4 times after the drums come in. Now we're going to that other section. Back to that first pattern. Now we're going to that A chord. And you can add the B and the F sharp. Now we're in the verse. Just A and then D major 7, A, D major 7. It's like A, C sharp, F sharp, B, and then E, and then F, E, E flat, B flat, up to B, and then down to A flat. It's a gnarly chord progression. Now we go back to that A chord. And you can do that trilling between the E, B, A, and E. Now we're going back into the next verse. A to D major 7. Now we're going to that A, C sharp, F sharp minor, B to E, to F, to E flat, to B flat, to B, and then down to A flat again. And now we're going back to that nice A chord. And there's a lot of different ways to come at this. And then we're going F sharp, E, D, and C sharp major, F sharp, E, D, and C sharp major, D, E, F sharp to G, back down to F sharp, E, D, and then back up to E. And now we're going back to another verse. And now it's sort of a singing thing until we get what's coming up next is that C sharp to E to B, those kind of rock hits. In a minute. Back to that intros. To that C sharp minor to A, F sharp to G sharp, and it's all in 7. And that's the one that has 4 counting. Almost there. Bluesy. And then it goes up to F sharp. Now we get that walk down. Extended one. And now we're on the piano solo. And this stuff is so fun to play along with. You can just pull up a loop of this section and just... So Paige is going for that E minor sound pretty quickly. And just... you can really just toss around those Mixolydian scale tones all over the place. He's using that G up to G sharp there. He's using that B, C sharp to E a lot too. I'm just kind of trailing behind him and keeping some of that vibe and hoping that you can sort of see at least what my ideas are for what he's doing. Here comes that B flat, you can hear it coming. So you just kind of, the B flat color starts to come in, and then when the full band commits to it is when you come out of this. Trey's going whole tone, just whole step notes apart. And Page is trilling between the B, E, F sharp, and B. And there's that pentatonic E minor sound. Now they're committing to that B flat. You can just lean into these two chords. And then we'll just wait for the drum fill to bring it out. And if you remember, we're gonna park on the B flat and do that little walk up. Yeah. And so it goes D, D sharp, E, F. Back to that. Oh, one early. Minor, G, and then E over G sharp. And I am not going to linger on this too long because my equipment is really squirrely tonight, so I don't want this video to cut off like the first chunk of it did. Thank you all for indulging me on a super nerdy Phish song lesson. I've been wanting to take that song apart for a long time, and I'm really glad I did. I still don't know why it works because the chord progression under the verses is just nuts. But some of that stuff with the descending bass line with the interesting chords over it is just classic Trey composition from the early days, and I love that stuff so much. It's so cool. So getting another one under my belt and sort of seeing how it works is really fun. And that solo section is just awesome. How you can flip between major and minor. and make a one chord solo section interesting. So I hope you had a good time learning this one, and I'll see y'all at the next lesson. Cheers.